very interesting day. It started at South Brisbane or South Bank, and I just went through the parklands to get a drink of water, and there was a fellow filling up his water bottles, and I just said, sorry, I'm just going to get a drink of water. So I was having a drink of water. He said, are you a religious person? I was like, I'm a Hare Krishna. And he said, we started talking. He was very scientifically philosophical, and he was questioning all of the things I was saying scientifically, like sort of asking for references, and asking for how it works with the sciences and stuff. And it was quite a challenging conversation, because he was very much calling me out as soon as I'd say something that he didn't agree with or didn't. It was just very philosophically challenging and direct. And I was trying to be, tolerant and not get annoyed and not get short and not get defensive, but I found myself getting a bit defensive. And he said something very interesting. He's like, you have to be able to explain. He's like, this is very good what you're saying, but you have to be able to explain it in a scientific manner for people who need a scientific explanation of things, and give some sort of evidence and research-based evidence in order to prove what you're saying, because otherwise someone like myself will just eat you up, and we won't listen to what you're saying. So it was a very, very valid point. I spoke with him for about maybe close to 1 hour. He was just very much wanting to talk. And I showed him the Bhagavad Gita, and I showed him the mantra card and explained what Hare, Krishna and Rama means. And he was saying it was very much, it's like in your own mind, it's very much like he was trying to say that it was like a mental concoction sort of thing. So after a lengthy discussion, we parted ways at about 6 o'clock, and I was a bit disheveled, because it was like sort of, I just felt like I'd been, I was just trying to get a drink of water, and I was like, I got philosophically tested by this scientist fellow who is, also a homeless man who didn't have a place to stay. He was sort of living it rough at the moment. But I took on board what he said about needing to be able to explain things scientifically. I just wanted to distribute one Gita today. I had one Bhagavad Gita on me. Earlier on today, I gave one to Govinda Mohan Prabhu in the hospital, a Krishna book, just as a gift. I sponsored that for him and gave it to him. I went over to the city after sitting down in South Bank for a little bit, because I was a bit disheveled and I had to get my thoughts together. I kept chanting. I looked at the Gita. I was like, Krishna, please help me distribute this. Please help me find the person who will benefit from this and take the instruction of Bhagavad Gita seriously. So then I walked over to the city, and about halfway across I started chanting, because I finished a round. Just Prabhupada tune. I was walking down the Queen Street Mall, and one boy named Harinam, he sort of nodded at me. I went over to him and I gave him an invite to the temple, one of the photo mantra cards, and he said he would very much like to come along. And he asked me if I'd eaten today. He said, I want to buy you some milk or give you some donation so you can buy some food later. I said, no, I've got food with me. It's okay. I'm not a poor man. He's like, no. He explained that his mother left body 3 years ago, and that on the 1st of February, he likes to go out and give some donation to someone or help someone, because it makes him feel good. So he gave, and I immediately said, would you like the Gita? And he's like, Prabhu, I've got this back in India. I said, well, can you take it to your home for your friends? And he said, no, they're all meat eaters, they're all this and that, and they wouldn't appreciate it. I said, do you have any other friends that you could give the Gita to who would appreciate it? He's like, no, Prabhu, no. I'm like, but maybe if your friends read the Gita, they wouldn't be wanting to do that sort of stuff anymore. So he said, he's like, he considered it. I saw halfway through the conversation, he got my pay ID and he gave me a $20 donation. Then I saw the boy who was chanting with me. He's an Ethiopian fellow named Hussein. He chanted with me at New Year's for half an hour between 12:30 and 1 a.m. And for that, I'll never forget him. A wonderful soul. So I called him over. I was like, Hussein. He came over and I was like, man, for you helping me out at New Year's, I just want to give you one gift. This boy's kindly sponsored this book. Please accept it from me as a gift. And he looked in and he's like, oh wow, I'll accept this as a gift. This is awesome. And then he asked where they from, and I said, well, Krishna appeared in India. And I kept talking, and he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't take this. I live on the street. It'll get very dirty. And I was like, oh, but so he didn't take it. He sort of handed it back. He's like, I can't take this. So I was like, Krishna, where am I going to find someone? There was dwindling people in the mall. Supposed to be late night shopping. I was like, I'll keep going. So I said Hare Krishna to Param and kept walking down the mall, out to King George Square, down the road to Central Station, to the bottom entrance. I stood outside there and I was just sort of chanting. I did go into the little dumpling store just next to 7-Eleven on Adelaide Street and offered the Bhagavad Gita to, there's one lady who's a chef, and she always puts her hands up and dances and goes like this when we go past on Friday and when I've been going on Harinams in the city. So I went in there and I was like, hey, and she's like, oh, hello. And I was like, please accept this as a gift from me. It's been sponsored. I just want to give it to you for always reciprocating with us when we go past. And she said, oh, no, this is too special. I was like, no, please, you're very special. You're always reciprocating with our Harinam party. And she said, no. So I ended up giving her, as a compromise, perfect questions, perfect answers, because she just was like, no, I can't accept this. This is too much of a special gift. So I carried on. The Bhagavad Gita stayed with me. And I proceeded to the corner where Central Railway Station is, and then went up the road. And I'm like, okay, I looked at the train. I'm like 18 minutes until my train comes. All right, time to do some more chanting. So I went to Anzac Square, and where there's the eternal flame and the pillars that look like where Nirasringa jumped out of. And I just was chanting Prabhupada's tune. And facing Central Station, it was over there. And there's 2 bar areas at Central Station. And I was like, okay, I'll go over the road. Last time I went past the bars, they were very, told me to F off and this and swearing at me. So I was like, I'll just go over and just sing Prabhupada's tune and just see what happens. I went across, turned right, walked up the road, and underneath the Sofitel banner, which is just next to where the bar was, there was 2 boys sitting down. And I just went up to them. I was like, Hare Krishna. They're like, Hare Krishna. I was like, would either of you like a Bhagavad Gita for yourself? It's been sponsored by one man a little bit earlier. I just am looking for someone who is going to really appreciate it. And one of them's like, how much this is? $25? Like last one? I'd met him back in December. He took a Bhagavad Gita from Queen Street Mall. And he's like, I've already got this, Prabhu. I was like, okay. I was just like, do you know any friends of yours who would benefit from reading it? And he's like, how much are you asking? I'm like, $10 would be the printing cost if you really want to give something. So he's like, okay, I'll go get my wallet. And the other fella, while the guy went and got his wallet, the other fella pulled out his wallet and pulled out $15 and was like, I'll get it. So I gave him the Bhagavad Gita and he gave him a perfect questions. And I just said to them, I told them I just had the craziest afternoon of trying to distribute the Bhagavad Gita, and it was just not working. Wherever I was going, it was just everyone had an excuse why they couldn't take it. But finally, Srila Prabhupada granted some mercy, Krishna granted some mercy, and these 2 boys took the Bhagavad Gita. So Yeah, it was an interesting day. It was very interesting. It was a bit mentally taxing, but in the end, Krishna, Krishna didn't let Krishna didn't let the prayers go unanswered, and the Bhagavad Gita found a nice home. They're going to come along to temple sometime as well because they got the address on the mantra photo card. So, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Never give up. Even if you have to give up, the next day, keep going. Even if for that week you weren't successful, keep going. Even after 20 years, if you're still not successful, don't give up. Keep going. Show that determination, unflinching faith, firm conviction. All of these qualities. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Jai Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna.